Another one in the series where I just read something for the first time and talk about it. I don't know if anybody wants to watch these, whether they're worth watching in the first place. I'm sure sometimes I just get stuff wrong just because I'm just reading it. It's fun just to read like a reader, not as a poet, not as a teacher. I always feel like I'm having to teach poetry, and that's a way to kill it, I think, half the time. But I also get to go back through and read 4, 5, 6 times, however it is, when I teach it, so I can kind of figure out whatever is bothering me or whatever is poking me at me in the first place. This one is in slope. I just stopped at this page because I like the way it looks on the page. Sometimes I think getting me into it is just as simple as that. I like things that play around the page. This one's thrown around the page. That doesn't mean I'm going to like it. It just means something about the original look makes me want to look, I think. Poems, as much as they are something that takes place in time, that you read it and you have an experience of it, and something you bring the ink to life with your own reading. There are also some aspect of a visual art in itself on the page when they're done well. Posthumous. I don't know who's posthumous. I don't know if this is about the poem itself, like afterwards, after the poem, or after the person, or if we're going to go with like Emily Dickinson here and have the speaker be dead. We'll see. It is late when the rummage gets underway. The air smells more of earth than docks. Dockhands brag to pretty bonnets. Cormorants spear at wavy prophets. Right, so this is fairly lengthy line with periods in it to chop them up a little bit. The language was a mix, right, of simple, and then I feel like, we have the sea language here. It's late when the rummage gets underway. What rummage gets underway? I'm not really sure what's being rummaged through, what the rummage is. The air smells more of earth than decks. So, boat imagery here, ship imagery. And that smell of earth, those of you who've been on the water quite a bit, this is there, that happens, obviously, and we know it ourselves. We can smell the water on land. Same with the smell of the earth. Dockhands brag to pretty bonnets. Of this, of the metonymy going on here with dockhands and bonnets. So the dockhands are the workers, the bonnets are the women. They're coming back to cormorant spirit wavy prophets, and they, you have this very clear image of the shore where the dockhands are coming back to talk. The birds are flying, the air smells of the earth, right? The rummage is getting underway now for a password. This is separated off, thrown to the right hand. And it shifts, right? Well, like password, I feel like lately, you read password, you're automatically in a world of tech. Not because we use them so much for that. And the password, also goes back. Because it's something that's supposed to be secret to work at all. Now for a password to work at all. That whole sentence, we don't have enough of the sentence there to put it in context. For walnut to open a single star. Right, there's that play of walnut, this word that opens up. Opens up, the secret pirate cave as it is, to open a single star, but it's opening a star at this point. I'm done with the worst of cursed and cursing. So we get an I here, and we're like towards the end of the poem here, so it's hard to know whether that I was one of the dockhands, a pretty bonnet, another observer, whether we're in a different world as it is. I'm done with the worst of cursing, cursed and cursing. There's all kind of course, sea stories about being cursed, and there's all kind of stories of the cursing of the sailors and all that stuff. When the wind stands me up, so I do not fall. When the wind stands me up, so I do not fall, I'll forget which song works against which sin. That's a pretty awesome little stanza there. When the wind stands me up, you can stand up by the wind so I don't fall. I'll forget which psalm works against which sin. There's a sense of, if you could repeat the psalm like a mantra itself, it would work against some sin. The songs are so song-like themselves. But this person has forgotten which one works. Well, really plays on that posthumous thing from the title. We don't really know. Is this person end up dying, or is this posthumous for the sin's already happened and you don't know how to say your mantra against it? Or is this just after the fishing expedition, the boat expedition, when people get back, it's posthumous for that? I'm not really sure. I think that this one, I would really like to see this one in a series, like a book, because it feels very much like it has a certain feel to it. Very much the coastal feel. And mixing in all those images and other things, the wind standing you up, the Psalms, it feels very like put together. I think there's a story there just waiting to be told, spilled out through a longer poetic cycle. So fun. Sarah Gridley. I've never heard of Sarah Gridley before. Sorry, Sarah. This is a fun piece. I'd like to read more of her work after this.